we can't wait for. Okay, I welcome you all, distinguished guests, friends, coordinators, partner in Schengen Story Media. So once again, we are here gathered to rub minds, discuss, iron out issues together, issues relating to our life, our home country, and our people. So this is Schengen Story Media, and we call the virtual town hall meeting. So you're welcome again. With us is gentle, distinguished gentlemen all around Europe, as we also expect more to come in. So here with us is coordinators of the Schengen Media Company. We have Honorable Matthew Ogaraku from Bedford, UK. Yes, Honorable Matthew, you're welcome. We have also Victor from Germany. Victor from Germany, Stuttgart, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, brother. Nice to be with you again.
Yes, we have my neighbor around me here, my brother and friend, Honorable Vincent. Vincent from Bologna, Italy. Vincent, you're welcome.
Thank you very much. My pleasure always to be here.
Yes, and I'm seeing friends, elder statesmen, Nigerian elder statesmen in Europe. That's Honorable Ida from France. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Good. It's good to have you again.
Yes.
I'm connecting the YouTube and the other outlets. So we are live on this 27th day of March 2021, discussing issues, state of security issues in Nigeria. I see our NIDO officer, that's Honorable Obot. Are you there, sir? Okay, I think, yes. And right on time, joining us is I refer to him as the Big Daddy, because at the end of the day, he is the daddy of Nigerians in Europe. Nigerians in Europe, this is where we lead our crying shoulder and talk to. So happy to have with us also the chairman of NIDO Europe, Dr. Bashir Obashikola. Doctor, you're welcome, sir. It's your pictures we're seeing.
Thank you. Just trying to get with the timings.
All right, sir. So you're all welcome to this edition of the virtual town hall meeting. Actually, we teamed this one-on-one with our daddy, the chairman of NIDO. So it's a one-on-one discussion as the head of Nigerians in Europe. We want to rub minds with him and understands the state of the situation in Nigeria. So let me give the background story. Insecurity issue in Nigeria is going out of hand. Killings by Boko Haram and other gunmen is becoming very outrageous. Banditry by the Fulani militants, kidnapping across the country. In fact, this morning, there was a report of a bus loaded with a church in Nigeria, the Redeemed Church, a bus loaded with members in Kaduna going for an afternoon trip. And that bus has been kidnapped, everybody in the bus. Also this morning, the Ekiti State Council of Worker was just released, luckily for him, from a kidnap attempt. So it is serious. So many security issues. Security agents also in Nigeria are struggling to contain this crisis. There is an unending mass adoption of school children. Mass adoption of school children. Yesterday, very sad enough, a father of a girl, the Forestry Technical School in Kaduna, the father of a particular girl that was kidnapped died. The father died out of heart failure and heart seizure. So the issue at hand is going out of control. And this, sad enough, these people, they're Nigerians, they're one way or the other, we in the diaspora are connected to them. These are our uncles, our fathers, our mothers, these are our sisters, these are our relatives, far relatives, close relatives. These are our kingsmen, tribesmen, village men, and these are people that one way or the other we are connected with. So waking up to hear these stories can be very, very disturbing. Waking up every day to realize that a particular side of a particular section of our country is being ravaged by banditry, by killings, by kidnapping. We as a media house, we truly desire to put out good news. We truly want to say nice things about our country and our people. But so far, it is no good news. The reality is the news are not too pleasant. The good news are too small compared to the sad news. So, gentlemen, distinguished officers, chairman of NIDO, we want to talk about this. And I'm opening up for our chairman to give an intro and throw some light to this discussion. So go ahead, Dr. Bashir. You're welcome, sir.
Yeah, thank you for having me, and good evening to everyone, the team and the viewers and the participants. Of course, you have said it all. The situation at home is not pleasant, and especially in the security front. But I think, we need not to be a soothsayer to know that things will get to this point because, they say economy drives, society. It drives social development of any society. The economic situation of Nigeria has been deteriorating, gradually, for the past years. And of course, no thanks to the pandemic in, last year, things became even a dear situation. And that is the reason why these things have become not only the usual occasional occurrences of crisis and security situation that we have witnessed before. And now it has become a perennial one, one that occurs, every day, almost every day. People kidnapping, and even has now become a massive, large crowd being kidnapped, which is unusual in any normal society. Children being taken as hostages, and schools being attacked in broad daylight, and even not to talk of in the night. So it's a dire situation about our security crisis. What is government doing about it? Of course, maybe we will discuss as we go on. Maybe evaluate it. Are they doing enough? And what is the situation of things as to the people that are the helms of affairs? At this moment. So I will stop here to just say that, of course, I agree with you that the situation is there. It's a very serious situation. And we are not, even though we are physically out of the country, but emotionally we are always there. And whatever happens to our people at home also affects us psychologically. So it can be anybody, it can be anybody's family, or it can be our neighbor or friend. So the situation is a very serious one, which we need that all hands must be on deck to give government the knocking on the head that is required for them to know and see that we are all concerned about the situation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You always on point with your human empathy statements, and we appreciate that. So it's a discussion that will be open to everybody. The other channels are growing, numbers of people. Questions will be coming in very soon. But before then, I want to open to my coordinators to say one or two things. Yes, Vincent from Bologna, go ahead.
Thank you very much, the chairman, moderator. The news we get from home all the time is actually heartbreaking and sometimes shameful. Sometimes I find it very difficult to introduce myself as a Nigerian because of the kind of news, the kind of blues that come from home. Every day, when you see breaking news, you begin to wonder what has happened. Has any of my relatives, been consumed in the never-ending fire burning in Nigeria? And these things, sadly, are not being addressed properly, the way they are supposed to by our politicians. I am glad the way our brothers in the Southwest are, reacting to it. But even at that, even some people would say they don't mean what they are saying by calling for, their own independence from the federation in reaction to what has happened. A lot of people condemn the people, the agitators, calling for self-rule from Nigeria, but they don't ask the relevant questions. They don't ask, why are these people asking to be free from Nigeria? Why are they asking to be on their own? All I hear is condemnation, against the people making this noise. But why are they leaving? That's the question everyone should ask. And nobody's asking that question, surprisingly. Instead, they are unleashing the security. They are looking for people to arrest. But it is getting worse by the day. And one of these days, who knows, someone said it, and it might happen, that before we know it now, these guys are in Minna. Minna is in Niger State. Abuja, the seat of power of Nigeria, is in Niger State. Anytime, if these people could have the mind to attack a sitting governor with all his security details, anything could happen. Tomorrow, these guys could wake up tomorrow and announce that they've taken charge, they've taken over the country, and begin to dish out orders. And some people will say, yeah, actually, they are in power already, because if the presidency is quiet, if the presidency is not doing all the things he's supposed to do, to curb this insecurity, then it means that these guys, he's in support of these guys. I'm actually sad about the development. I do not like the way the president is silent about the whole thing. his supporters, the people he appointed, nobody's saying anything, nobody's doing anything. All they have to do is condemn the people who raise their voice to condemn what's going on. It's just like asking people to come out and be killed. If you don't submit yourself to be killed, then you get arrested for it. And that's not healthy. It's not good for our international image. It's not good for our image as citizens of that country. And we do not have any other country. No matter what happens, we'll still go home. We'll always go home. We have people at home. We are Nigerians. We can't help it. Even if we have dual citizenship, we still have our minds always going home. That's why we're always concerned about what's coming, the news coming from home. So it's important that our people, our politicians, or the people we call our leaders, take the right decisions now. Unfortunately, the only instrument to check the executive arm, that's the legislature, is as good as a toothless bulldog. They do not do the things they are supposed to do. There is no checks and balances in governance, and that is sad. The Senate presidency, whatever comes from the executive, gets endorsed without question, without even subjecting them to, scrutiny. They get endorsed. No, there's no question. There is no. I saw what happened the other day. The one that actually got everyone enraged when the deputy speaker Wase, said that diasporians do not have any right to complain. That itself is outrageous. And when he said that, you begin to wonder, what kind of people do we elect to represent us? So I'm saying, I don't know, maybe as a recommendation, I would say that whatever we're going to do, if we diasporans are going to make any contribution to the ongoing attempt to write a new constitution for the country, I think we should also try to inject a mechanism, for us to amend that recall mechanism of politicians. Because I believe that if politicians actually know that they could be recalled, the process of recall as it is in our constitution today is quite difficult. It's very tight that it's not even possible. I've never seen any politician, any legislator, any elected politician recalled from where he is by the people, by the electorate that put him there. But this is something that has to be modified to make it easy, to make it quite easy for power to return to the people whom it belongs to. So that anytime they have needs to call back such prodigal politicians who do not represent the interests of the people, we activate that process and call them back and send people, the right people, to represent the people. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Please, I would like to come in.
Yes, he said, let me give a brief a summary of what he has been saying. So that's our coordinator from Italy, Bologna, Italy, Vincent. And Vincent is saying that, first of all, he said the presidency is not doing something. I will want our chairman to respond to that. He said the presidency is not doing anything. And he also talked about recalling politicians. Are these things can it be done? Chairman, sir.
Well, thank you. Well, I wouldn't be the spokesperson for government, but rather I would say from the side of what we are seeing, I think we are all seeing the same thing. That, of course, what they are doing is not enough. We are not seeing the effectiveness of what they are doing. Even though you remember, I think on this platform also, we mentioned, the Needle Worldwide, press releases, yes, on the situation of security in Nigeria. We mentioned it, and we said that, okay, we asked that the governor, the president should rejig his, security architect, and few weeks later, there was new change of, guard in the security apparatus and the leadership of Nigeria. But we are yet to see the effect of that change. Of course, you might say, oh, maybe those people are still studying and trying to re-strategize on the way forward about how to resolve the issue, but we can't see the result. Rather, things are getting even worse. Look at what is happening in Kaduna State now, in Niger State, and in Katsina State. We can see that things are so bad. The Northeast, in Borno and all the rest there, of course, situation seems to be stable, bad stable, or something I can say. It has been bad, stable at that war situation. But in the situation in the northwest now has become even worse, and we don't know what the government is doing to change the situation of things rather than what we all see. Where they claim that, of course, they are trying their best and trying to change the strategy, but we don't know what is the problem actually. Is it that within the security people that there are people who are working, not to the development of the situation to the good side, but rather to the worse side? Of course, there are speculations about that view, that might be true. Well, we don't know, since nobody has been charged for such sabotage. But we can only speculate that maybe there is something in between the system that is actually not allowing things to grow to the side of positive side, that people can feel that yes, okay, there is positive change. But the situation is still very bad. So I won't say exactly what the government is doing, rather than what we all know that the government is doing. But the effectiveness of of those actions are what we are all seeing, that is not effective. Rather, things are getting worse, and we can only, think that the government will see reasons for total, probably maybe there is a need for breaking the system to the states. That's why when states are calling for state police, maybe this is the time to implement it, so that everybody will take care of his own territory, So these are the things that are coming to me, in response to that question as to what exactly the government is doing, to this. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairman, our daddy. Yes, conversations are coming in. Questions are also coming in from the YouTube corner. But before then, I'll open for our state elderman from France. Big brother Ida, go ahead.
Thank you, brothers. It is, nobody knows where to start from when it comes to Nigeria. Somebody was saying that the last speaker saying that he is afraid. Sometimes he's ashamed to introduce himself as a Nigerian. I think it's a very wrong thing to do. You're a Nigerian, that is your country. So whatever happens, okay. Now, I think what is actually happening in Nigeria is beyond human expression. The only person I can blame as far as what is happening in Nigeria is concerned is the president. I think fundamentally speaking, Buhari or President Buhari has no respect for Nigerians. There is no place, frankly speaking, I was not born yesterday. I have traveled, I have gone to school. There's no place you have a president, when the house is burning, nobody hears from him. When there is even when people are campaigning, you have to come out and tell us what you are going to do. Did we see Buhari telling us, defending his his program? And we didn't see him, despite that we elected him. The problem with us in Nigeria is that nobody, we are all guilty. No Nigerian is serious. No Nigerian is ready to say the truth. We are always based on our ethnic lining. We are all going to die together if we continue this way. People are laughing at us. They don't even know that the outside world, what they simply want is Nigeria going back to war so that they can fight, they can sell their arms. We are all here. So I don't know how in the 21st century, when everybody is going forward, Nigeria is still talking about identity. I mean, it is unfortunate. Posterity will not forgive us. We're talking of politicians. These are not politicians, these are beggars. And they are beggars, you cannot do anything to them. Tomorrow they will be elected. Huh? They will tell you, they will come back. So it's unfortunate. I think Nigerians, we have to do what we call sober reflection. We have come down too low, and it's unfortunate. We are talking that we are giants of Africa. What type of giant is that? Look at us. for every day killing. This thing has become an institution in the country. Kidnapping innocent people. And they know why do you want them to go to the farm to go to school? If you kidnap about 40 children, you get a lot of money. You go and spend it and come back. No, it's unfortunate. I'm sorry. It is, I don't know what to say. All I know is that Nigerians, we have to start reasoning. That is, if we are going to go to war, we are going to separate. I don't know how many Nigerians will be left. I don't know how many countries are going to get out of Nigeria. People will just stand up. Somebody, basically speaking, even that Igboho has already declared his own identity. I mean, his Oduduwa Republic is now even minting money. Which country are we? Because somebody from a village is bringing his money to spend, and he says his name is Kadaka. What type of country is that? And Buhari is there. I know. My brothers, it is a shame.
Thank you very much. That's our elder man from France. He's saying Nigeria needs to go on sober reflection of our existence. Yes, questions will be going back and forth. The chairman Bashir, somebody just wrote here also, added to what Elder Statesman said. Somebody said, are the bandits not seeing this as a new line of money making, kidnapping and getting ransom?
Yes, you are very right. That's why I started from the economic, situation that has actually now propelled this, these activities to become a money-making venture. So we can't rule it out, because the funniest thing is that most of these things, but I don't know actually how money exchange hands, for paying for this, I'm just wondering if it goes through the banking system. Can't it be traced afterwards? Because after all, some of these advanced world, what they do is they can pay, maybe ransom, but they will follow it up and make sure that anybody, the money goes to his account, is finally pinned down. Is government doing that? I don't know. Or is money being dropped through from the here to the bush? I don't know. But there must be a way that that money should be traced to the final receiver of that even if at the end of the crisis, they can still trace, such people. So it is a money-making venture, which I believe it is. And it is just not only political reasons that is driving people to these things they are doing, but rather they have commercialized it and making money out of it.
Thank you very much. Yes, it's obvious that it has become the new oil. The new oil spinning business in Nigeria is kidnapping. Sad enough, they are getting away with it. Hands are going up. Yes, that's our big brother from the other side. Go ahead, unmute yourself. See Obot, unmute your phone and give your submission, sir.
Good evening, honorable moderator, and also my acknowledgements to our chairman, Dr. Basikola. Good to see you, and country people. Thanks for this opportunity to at least share in this event. I've listened to you guys, and I think I share the alarm. I share the frustration of our people from out here, because what is happening there is in Nigeria. I mean, when the Chibok girls situation came up, I mean, that was a worldwide, shared, alarm system. I mean, to kidnap one person is bad enough, but to be kidnapping schools, innocent, harmless schools with impunity. That is the shocking part of not only to Nigerians but to the world. I think it's time for action. Definitely, there might be commercial aspect to the whole thing. There might be political aspect to the whole thing. But the overwhelming aspect is that it is criminal. And I think that I think, yes, eventually the president is responsible for the security of our country. But between the events happening in those schools and on the streets and the president, there are so many chains of command. We don't hear people being held accountable. Basic security. I think if a child is not safe in school, where will one be safe? And the worst part is when this event happened, we do not hear of of the situation being resolved. I think today I heard that one of the fathers was so shocked that he had a heart attack. The people that is just so overwhelming to imagine that out of all the places. So the shock is there. I think the time, since the Chibok girls and of course, despite all the insecurity and organized crime upstairs, but when it starts to affect very innocent citizens, young citizens, helpless people, I think we need to raise our security response to a different level. And if we can't help ourselves, we can, that is in this Western world, if you don't have the knowledge or the expertise, you purchase it, you get consultants, you get people to assist you. Even those people who are in war, guerrilla war, or I'm hearing that, like in Mozambique, I'm hearing about those, rising issues. That they're even saying that the people are getting extra training, specialized training for guerrilla war. Why can't we get proper training for security forces so that, because it's available, so that we can at least secure our people in Nigeria? So it is not just a government problem, from my opinion. I think it's a people's problem, because we accept all kind of nonsense. Here in the West, if somebody is unjustifiably murdered or kidnapped, the whole country is put on hold until that issue is resolved. Here, schools are being taken away, and yet business is continuing as usual. That is unthinkable. It's totally unthinkable. People are walking along the streets, going along the business. Government is still operating as if nothing has happened, and we don't hear anything happening. So, in my opinion, I think we should be talking about action plan now. People who cannot take up responsibility in their roles, they should be shown the door. Steps should be taken to get expertise at all costs, at all levels. And Nigerians need to see results. People need to feel safe. Yeah, I just stopped that for that contribution. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Straight to the point contribution. We appreciate that. He said, they are going out of their way to kidnap our children. Something should be done about that. He said, we should also begin to train soldiers, train the security arm to be able to combat this. That's our Honorable Obot. Thank you, sir. Yes, questions are coming in, Chairman. Somebody is saying, there's a question for the chairman here. He said, is this not a wake-up call to change how schools are built, how our schools are built, how they build it? He said, is it not a wake-up call to change the construction of school buildings?
That is also an issue. Of course, that, they say before something happens, there are chains of activities or inactivities that have been done before. And this is one of it that, of course, while we were building the country, a lot of things were taken for granted. And this is one of it. Schools are located far away out of town. I remember in my village those days, although when I visited some years after, it had been, it had become town. But then the school was actually outside the town. So, and I don't wonder if things happened those days. Maybe everybody could have been killed before even rescue arrives. So those are the things that happen in our society. I used to tell people that most of the problem we are facing now, it was because of the wrong nation building strategy that we had from the beginning. It is not now. Most of these wrongdoings were just accumulated year in, year out. And as a result, we are only seeing the result now. It's getting very difficult for us to even manage it or correct it because the foundation has gone wrong from the past. So this is one of it, that schools could have been built in a different way with well-fortified, fences around it. And also that you can put, man them with the appropriate security outfit. But this is not the case. And of course, it's going to take some time to readjust because some villages have only one school. So it's difficult for government to just close it down and move the children. How would they be going to school? So these are the things that is keeping everybody awake over the night to see what can be done in such a way. I heard that even in the north now, a lot of children are not more going to school. They are afraid to go to school.
Before they were not going.
Yes. So it's a catastrophe. And the tragedy of it all is that the consequences of what's happening now is going to come in future. Yep. Children will not go to school. We will be turning out illiterate. We are battling to get people educated. Now we're accumulating uneducated youth again for the future. Where do we go from here? So that is the seriousness of the situation, that we need all us to be on deck. This is not the time for agitation. That's why I always tell people, this is the time to consolidate. Let us rescue our communities. We need to do that. Otherwise, we will be in more troubles in 10 years' time. Then we will have forgotten that it was Buhari who was in government. We will be blaming the person who will be in government at that time, not forgetting that things have gone wrong from the past. So let us all be answered. What can we do to help? What can we do to change the situation of things? That's why I mentioned the state security outfit. Maybe it is now to agitate for, state police, local council, security outfit, so that these things will be, managed and taken under control as soon as possible before we start turning out 2 generations of the uneducated ones. That will be another problem for us in future. So that is my own take here.
Thank you very much. The person that asked the question from the YouTube side did thumbs up to you, sir. So yes, hands are going up. Victor from Germany. Go ahead, Victor. Unmute your phone. Your phone is muted.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. In as much as I want to reiterate some of the points that is already made, I think the problem of Nigeria is deep-rooted on the issue of corruption, lack of accountability, and the little resources that are available that everyone is scrambling for. People are fighting to become a politician and not bothering about, how to lay a good foundation for a national development. Coupled with the fact that our president, like I think Vincent rightly spoke before, is not doing enough. It's not doing enough to bring justice, to bring these people to justice. These perpetrators of these heinous crimes in our society are not being dealt with. There's too much impunity. People just do things and get away with it. Imagine a situation where Mr. A committed a crime and, he made a lot of money out of that criminality. And at the end of the day, even though it's so glaring that this person is the one that did this thing, sometimes they will come out and, make some threats and, claim responsibility for that same crime. And at the end of the day, they not be sent to prison, they not be punished. So the fact that our government, our president is not holding people accountable for their actions, for what they are doing, is what has led us down this drain, down this terrible road that we are all now scrambling for safety. However, it is not too late. I think it's still a wake-up call. If only our government would do the needful. If they can't do it on their own, if we haven't gotten enough men in the security areas that can take care of this, why don't we source for help outside? Why don't we ask for foreign countries to help us to train our policemen, our military properly? So there are so many things. I mean, I just can't understand. Another problem is this idea of having to negotiate with terrorists. I've always been against this. How can you on earth, as a president or maybe as a governor of a state, be negotiating with terrorists, people that will come around from nowhere, possibly outside your country, to come and kidnap your own people, and then you do nothing about it? You're enticing them with money. Giving them money. You're encouraging them. This same money they will use to go and buy more weapons. You empower them. They become more stronger, and then they will come back for more. It's like Oliver asking for more. You're never going to be able to satisfy these people. You don't negotiate with terrorists. You decimate them. You take the war to them. The best line of defense is to take the war to the enemy. You know where they are. And you are, inviting them to come and negotiate with you. If we do our intelligence proper, if we do our investigation properly and get proper information, these people can be nipped in the bud. It's not too late. We just need the right person to be there who can give the right directive at the right time. Our president is probably, maybe, I don't know, his weakness is, it's unquantifiable.
Thank you very much.
He should do something, man. Everybody is sick and tired of the situation prevailing in Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Victor. That's a passionate plea. Everybody is passionate and annoyed about the situation, but we still need to control the emotion because it's blowing to everybody's face. Sorry, sir. Mr. Chairman, there's a statement here, and I want you to look into it. Somebody said, this is the reason why politicians should also listen to their oppositionists when they raise up alarm. He said, APC didn't take action in time because they thought PDP was using this as a dialogue. That APC didn't take action of this heinous crime when it started initially. They didn't realize it. They thought it was a political thing, and the opposite party trying to drag them back and all that. What will you say to that? I think it's a bit.
Yeah, of course there is there is an element of truth there. I don't think it's only APC. I think most of the politicians do that.
Yeah.
People always say that politicians live from election to election, while statesmen live from future. I think it's not only because APC did not take the right step because they were thinking PDP was just an alarmist.
Yes.
Just for criticism's sake, it is partisanship. Not opening their eyes to see and assess the situation objectively. I think it's also applicable to all the politicians and political parties. So it's unfortunate that our lives are being played out in such a way that it doesn't matter to them. What they are all looking for is election victory. But victory is one thing, but for ruling and controlling the country in a proper way is another thing, which I think the essence of democracy. Because it's not democracy just for us to go and elect people to represent us, but rather to have some feedback some benefit of what we call dividend of democracy, and I think that's the essence of it. So if there's no benefit of democracy, then what's the essence of the old electoral process or democracy? So to me, I only believe that that it is what we get from government that matters most, and not the process itself. Even though I'm not campaigning for autocracy or military rule, but sometimes some of these forms of government can actually be more beneficiary, to human development than what we are getting now especially from this democracy that we have in Nigeria now, which is unfortunate. So I believe that things should be done differently and should not be seen only from partisanship point of view, but rather as practical and essence of life.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Yes, hands are going up. Matthew Ogaraku from Bedford, UK. Go ahead. Unmute your phone and give us, yes.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, moderator. Thank you, President Bashir, and thank you, every other person who is here. What is this leadership? What is leadership? Leadership, we are told, is responsibility and accountability. And I believe when anybody seeks for any public office at whatever level, you are saying that I'm taking responsibility of the duties that is attached to this office, and I'm accountable to the people for it. Why is nobody taking responsibility for what is happening in Nigeria, and why is nobody accountable for it? That takes us to what is called power. You see, while some people see public office as office of service, some other people see it as office of control. I think in Nigeria, it is an office of control. And they said when the citadel of justice is corrupt, the body politics, they said, gets completely rotten and collapse. And that's where we are. By the time we have sacrificed merit in our altar of ethnicity, by the time we have sacrificed merit in altar of sectionalism, by the time we have sacrificed merit in altar of religious inclination, by the time we have sacrificed merit in altar of tribalism, that's the result we get. And this did not start today, brothers. This did not start today. However, it grows with days. It grows with time. It grows with years. It grows with the type of person that finds himself in the apex of offices. And that's what's happening here today. Our system is so bad that so far security is centralized, over-centralized. It simply means that what is happening in the state must have to take authority from somewhere before, and this is in the consideration of how the person down there receives it. If he cares, it is important. It's not if he sees if it's important, if he cares. Because as a place it will come, it may not be important to him, but there may be a place it becomes important to him. We are all living in Europe, in diaspora, as we know. In most of the cities here, I pay what is called council tax. Part of those council tax is for the council police. That simply means you have a council police, you have a state police, you have a national police. The reason for this is that you have a police, not only that it should be somehow an indigene or somebody who has worked in that council for a very long time, knowing the environment. It's not somebody who is there, and when you ask him of who is president of NIDA in Europe, he said, I don't remember. Somebody who should have known him, and that sort of person should have gone with time. This takes us back to what we call election in Nigeria. Until what happens in Europe happens in our place, where anybody can come in here, campaign on his idea, not on his economic or political support, and get to office, we cannot change. Because if we continue to have the same class of capitalists inside legislative offices, call it Senate, call it House of Representatives, or whatever you will find yourself, definitely those people don't have your case. They don't know how the poor masses feels. How can these things be changed? It can also be changed by some of the agitations that are already in place. And that's what led to the local agitations, as you can see today. It is justified, I must tell you. By the time the center cannot hold. To your tent, O Israel, they said. People want security where they are sure. This is why for a very long time, a lot of part of this country has been campaigning for levels of autonomy for themselves. And that's how it was before the military came in. And the worst of the coming is the 1979 constitution that was not neither debated, neither taken to plebiscite or referendum on the people. People imposed on what never was tested on people and has been using it. And if you look at all this constitution, all it has, going by section 6C of the constitution, it robs you all your right, all. That's why when the police is beating you, he doesn't look back. When army is beating you, he doesn't look back. When we can have insurance for every citizen here in this country, and when we can have justice to defend the right of citizens, then you see that any other person, I saw a senator somewhere in one of the house saying, by the time we say that we are paying 40 million or 50 million on head of anybody killed, that the federal government to sit up. Yes, nobody sits up because they feel you don't have a right, and the Constitution 6C damages every citizen that calls himself in Nigeria. So there must be a change in this fundamental thing that is called constitution that is keeping me and you there. Whether it is as remaining as Nigeria as going as independent or confederated as it was to be, something needs to be done. But the whole thing can always be done when a review on the fundamental relationship is done. And this, I think, has been done in many ways. Jonathan created the constitutional confab, where a lot of things were discussed, people came together and decided on something. Even this government, when they were coming, they promised they will implement it. Was not done. That simply means some people are here not to govern us, but to rule over us. And that's dangerous, not acceptable. Something needs to be done. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's Matthew Ogaraku from Bedford. Yes, close to Matthew's comment is a question coming from the other end. Mr. Chairman, sir, somebody is saying, to your 10th all Nigerians, do you accept, do you agree to that? To your 10th all Nigerians, the recent slogan of people, the various regions saying they are good, they want to go home, they want to go to their region, they don't want Nigeria again. He said, do you agree to that? He used the word to your 10th all Nigerians. Do you agree to that, Mr. Chairman?
Well, of course, I've said it earlier that this is not the best time to agitate. When countries are facing challenges, you know, if you let's say, okay, there is a constitutional provision for referendum now. If you go to referendum now, I'm sure everybody will want to stay in his own village, you know, because situations are so bad that this is not the best time to even ask people of that question, because it's obvious. The result is obvious. You know, the same thing happened in UK when they were, voting for this Brexit. They voted for Brexit because of the situation of economics that time. They were thinking that by voting as Brexit, they actually, driving away those, East European who are in their country working and others. They believe they were taking away their work and their jobs. So the same thing here. If Nigeria is in situation now that no matter the level of education or enlightenment that people are, if you ask them for separation now, I know majority will say yes, because they believe that within their territory they will be fine. But that is not true.
Yes.
I don't think we should go that route now. What we need to do is to continue to pressurize for the country to go back to what was the intention of the founding fathers during the independence. How did they see the country to grow? They had dreams. They had the area, that's why it was regionalized. So thinking how to grow Nigeria is to think regions, not to go back to cocoons of our villages or those or ethnic groups, but rather to see ourselves, how do we grow Nigeria through our regions? I think every region has something to contribute. The problem is that the fear of change is making people nervous. People will benefit, but they don't see that benefit now. what they see is that separation. So I will want to say that it is not a good thing that everybody is agitating to go back to their town and their ethnic groups, but rather let us look at how do we, make it such a way that regions will be able to, contribute from where they are. Of course, we can say that, yeah, this government or previous government have been promising restructuring. They are not doing it, I know, but I think we should not relent in pressure. The pressure should continue. After all, Scotland is still pressurizing UK up to today. So we are not the first to do that. We can still continue to pressurize the country, to make sure that this constitutional amendment or whatever it is, or conferences, that will, at the end of the day, lead to certain level of autonomy for regions, so that they will see the benefit of working hard, for development of the country, because that is what's lacking. People don't see the need for, developing themselves, because they believe that, oh, I don't need to develop here because after all, the benefit will go to everybody, but that should not be the case. People should see themselves as contributors to development rather than parasites to each other.
Thank you very
Please,
much.
please, can I just add to what Bashir has just said, please?
Yes, sir. That's the chairman, sir. Go ahead.
Sorry, no, it's just I'm such a Nigerian that when I hear this type of things, when you are outside the country, frankly speaking, if we have got dedicated leaders, everybody will forget where he comes from. You only see yourself as a Nigerian. It is simply because now when it comes to problems, everybody thinks that when I'm alone, I'm going to be better. But this is not true. This is not true simply because when you are small, nobody considers you. When you look at Africa as a whole, when you have a knowledge of what we call geopolitics, Nigeria is good as it is, and that is why we are Nigerians. That's why we are feared. That's why we are respected elsewhere. And if you start calling Hausas, Igbos, Benis, Ibiras, Igalas together, what is that? What happened? This is madness. I'm sorry to say this thing. Look, our brothers and sisters, let's sit down together. We are one. Heaven is the last. We can go too far. It's only because we have people who are deceiving us. Exactly. These people, let's get rid of them. Let's get dedicated Nigerians to rule this country. If we don't overhaul the fundamental rules, if we don't have institutions, we can never go anywhere. Please, brothers, you have traveled. It's not when you are saying that Igbos should go, Hausas should stay. This thing, we are not solving any problem. We are just, making ourselves laughing stocks of other people. Because let me tell you again, I have to repeat myself. These people here, especially France, especially these British people, what they simply want is for Nigeria to continue to split, to continue to have civil war, because that makes them okay. That shows that we are barbarians. We have no what atom of democracy in us. We cannot rule ourselves. And why should we continue to dance to their tunes? Let us wake up.
Thank you very much. Yes, interesting submission there. Please, yes, hands are going up. Questions are also coming from this other corner. But I will want to the ladies. There are ladies in our midst. And last week in our forum, we were talking on gender equality. So I want the ladies also to make inputs. Is my Helen Root, is she there? Apostle Helen Root, are you there? Are you ready to give a statement?
Yes. Well, I'm good evening.
Good evening. Yes. Go ahead.
I love it that I'm listening to all the contributions people are making there. So I just want to be calm today, and I mean the topic is very, very interesting, and yeah, it's sometimes as well very emotional, because what is going on in Nigeria it looks like an abomination. I really don't know how to put it, but all of these reasons everybody is pouring out. And the last speaker just said, we just have to stick together and build. For me, I don't know how we can stick together. I really don't know. I really don't see it working any further because, I mean, people from South have done their best to endure so many things, and yet allowing the people who couldn't really read much to rule us. Yet it's like they have the weapon and they have the power behind them. And so how long are we gonna be sitting so and listening to all of this? And those of us in the diaspora, we are pushing forward and we are saying, yeah, we must come together, we must become one. Is it really possible? Is it really doable? Because for me, I'm tired of having all of this vague words. I want something that we can practicalize, something that is workable. Not just that we are in diaspora, we sit here from far, and then we are just giving all our contributions. I mean, going there, there's no way we can dissolve these people because we even by fact that you have arrived in Nigeria, you want to settle down in Nigeria, you provide your CV. Somebody is already threatened. They are not even ready to let go. Those of them who have rooted in Nigeria, they are not ready to let go. They don't even want to see what you want to offer before they begin to show some jaundiced feelings around you. So the whole thing is, it's like the country has been bought over by who I do not know. So it's gonna take a very long time before Nigeria really can be Nigeria again. And no matter the level of training you give to our police force, because somebody made mention that he thinks we have to re-educate them. We have to, no matter what you give to them, it's like corruption is innate in them. It's innate in them. So they have so much been imbibed with corruption that they cannot. Them and corruption is inseparable. So this country requires or needs a new breed of people totally. So I don't know where we're gonna get them, but that's just my own little contribution for now.
Thank you very much. I called you because I know you make good submission. Thank you, Helen Roots.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, there's a question. Sorry, there's a question that's coming, but we will not go into the question. But I want the chairman to get ready for that. That's the second segment anyway. It's on the issue of the Deputy House Speaker that rejected a bill from the TIV community in America. So that's a very important issue for us being diasporans, and we have that kind of backlash. It's embarrassing. So Chairman, get ready to put something on that. Yes, hands are going up. Go ahead, Vincent. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. I actually wanted to react to something Elder Inda said the other time. I talked about the fact that I feel ashamed sometimes to introduce myself as a Nigerian, and he poo-pooed that. I mean what I'm saying when I say this. My people used to say that an insane patient, a mad person, actually does not feel the shame. It is his siblings that feel the shame. And that is the way it is. You see a country where everything is supposed to be working, a country where mediocrity rules, a country where there is absolute lack of accountability, there is corruption and lack of accountability, a corruption where you see leaders in positions of authority, misplaced priorities. I remember the new EFCC chairman, a young man whom we thought was coming with a lot of action, different from what we've always been seeing, came the other day and announced that bank workers should declare their assets annually. Now, why start with bank workers? And these guys, this is quite ridiculous. These guys have been doing this annually. This is something, at least since 2015, I know that bankers declare their assets annually and file them to the relevant authorities. Now he started on bankers instead of politicians, the people in whom we entrust a lot of funds, a lot of resources to run the nation, and we don't get to see the impact in the society. And he said they should start a declaration of assets with the bankers. So these are the kind of things we talk about. Then a warped recruitment process. I know we have said a whole lot of things. We've been talking, and we keep talking. Mr. Chairman here, Dr. Bashir, said that we have to keep, mounting the pressure. Oh, well, the thing I know is that this government has shown an undisguised unwillingness, to address the issues we have in Nigeria. There's no pretense about it. He doesn't want to talk about it. He doesn't want to do anything about it. He's just quiet about it. There is no willingness to address issues of corruption. Someone was talking about schools. Do you know that most schools in the north, this is not the first time they are voting billions of naira to fence those schools? Now, has he asked any question about, has he even requested for accountability? You give someone money to go do something for you, and the person comes and you see that the problem you ask the person to fix with the money you gave him is still persistent. Aren't you going to ask questions? What happened to the fund I gave to you? The other day, the NSA, National Security Advisor, I think Mongono, talked about the fact that funds were missing. Funds voted to buy ammunition were probably missing, and the ammunition were not there by the outgone chief of security chiefs. The following day, someone probably spoke to him and he came back and recanted, something we have on record. And he said, no, he was misquoted. What kind of thing is that? These are the kind of people we have. Now, I'm actually tired of talking and talking. I think we should just get down to action. No matter what we say, these guys are not going to do anything. They're not going to listen to us. So I think whatever we have to do should have to go by way of recommendations. If we are going our separate ways, I remember also that Dr. Bashir said this is not a time for agitation. Oh yes, maybe it is not. I read something, Duro Onabule, former presidential advisor in the past government, wrote about the call for Yoruba secession. Yes, it applies to every region, not just to Yoruba secession. There are going to be issues, even among us in the Southeast, in the South, there are still going to be, calls for secession inside, by groups, within groups, inside those regions. And this corruption also has gone into our blood system. It's become part of our DNA. Even it's not just at the federal level, even the people in charge at the regional levels also have it. So we are going to see the same thing, the same mediocres ruling us. So I think we should just make special recommendations for the team, whoever is putting together this new constitution. Personally, I have one or two, to mention here. I'm saying it's not that Buhari will listen, but just for it to be on record that we said it, so that anytime they're looking for advice, they could pick it. Some like a rejig of the entire recruitment system, especially for appointees in government. Because I can't imagine that the things we were complaining about, the past security chiefs messed up everywhere, left, got rewarded with ambassadorial positions, and then we appointed new people whom we thought were new kids on the block who are coming with action. Only for us to hear the Minister of Defense say something like asking us to, defend ourselves. That's the height of rascality. That's the height of ignorance from a highly placed official like that. So if we can contract recruitment to independent consulting firms, some like PricewaterhouseCoopers, KPMG, let them call for applications from qualified candidates. If it is for chief of army staff, let qualified people from so and so rank apply. Put them to thorough scrutiny, the way you recruit people for corporate organizations. Examine them, let the best candidate emerge, and then the president approve. You give the person to the president to approve. That way we'll get the best. It doesn't even matter if we're running a centralized security system. A good officer, a good hand can fix all these things. Cascade assignments and follow up, ask for accountability. If we give money, and again, the next thing is whoever is getting into any position, elected or appointed, should sign, commit to a strong-worded undertaking, asking to be jailed, or even to make it very strong, death sentence or life jail sentence, if he fails to deliver whatever budget given to him to do his task. If he does not do everything and it is verified by an independent consulting agency, an international, a globally recognized consulting agency, let the person be committed to jail or even killed if possible. That way, I think people will begin to, think, if you know that there is a repercussion if you fail to do what you're supposed to do. Someone would, loot billions tomorrow the person will jump to the ruling party and his sins will be forgiven. The case will be dropped right before our very eyes, and no one is talking. And you say I shouldn't be ashamed that something like that is happening in the country?
Thank you very much. Thank you. So I have to come in. Strong worded talk. I know Dr. Bashir will respond to Vincent's statement, very passionate statement. But I want to say this, Vincent. First of all, what we're doing here will be aired on Channel 5 in Nigeria. I think Dr. Bashir knows about that. We are working with the NIDCOM group, and they air our, this will be aired on their station in Nigeria. So your voice will be heard, but let me help a little before Dr. Bashir comes in. No matter what goes wrong in Nigeria, don't be ashamed of Nigeria. I don't agree to that.
Thank you.
Mentally, I don't agree to that. No matter what.
The shame is this.
Even sorry, please. Even if no matter the situation, you know why? Listen to this. In every phase of humanity, yes, there are times like this. What is happening in Nigeria is not even as to what has happened in some countries. It's a phase, and it shall pass. So we don't say because, we don't say because we are going to, it's like a family probably going through a period of maybe the father is going through employment, and the children now say, because Papa no get work, I'm not a member of this family. I hate this family, and I won't be part of this family because the father doesn't have a job. It's a phase, Vincent, and we all know it will pass. So what we are doing now is rubbing minds. And obviously, our voice will be heard. You're not speaking to an empty, to a vacuum. Our voice will be heard, and some things, they are adding things together. When some solution will come, it will come from some of these statements you're making here. So please be hopeful, be patriotic, also see this as a challenging period where other things could come out of, where innovations, ideas, creativity, many other things could come out of this thing happening to Nigeria now. So this is my own view to what you said. Dr. Bashir, do you want to say something, sir?
Yeah, just quickly one that, thank you for what you have just said. I want to also address my brother that, of course, I always wish that we in diaspora study the history of the country we live in. Please, if you go back to the history of all this country we are, we will know for sure that will give you motivation. I believe that Nigeria will surely overcome what the stages it is now. Because that is what makes us different. Why is it that it is diasporans that bring, those countries, that it was diaspora that brought, development change to the countries? Because they were in other countries from where they saw that, oh, this problem where we are having in our home countries, we're actually unsurmountable, but they are actually resolvable. You can overcome it. Look at what happened in Ireland. I don't know if you know the history of the terrorism and all those things that was happening there. How was it solved? It was solved thanks to the Irish diaspora.
That's right.
Because they now knew that, oh, this country we can actually overcome the problem we have in our country because of what we have seen, in the countries that we are outside the country. And that always gives me motivation because I'm a country, that collapsed Soviet Union. You all know the history of Soviet Union. And I knew how Russia, the current Russia was able to come up, So that also gave me the motivation that actually Nigeria could actually come up. Nigeria could actually survive if we all believe it. The problem is that we don't believe now. The level of belief that people are having now is low. So we need to believe, especially the diasporans, we need to be, motivated by the history of the countries we are. Look at Netherlands, look at France, look at UK, look at France. All these countries had challenges, but they overcame it, and now they are where they are because of the unity and the motivation and the belief that they have. So let's not lose hope. The country will actually survive if we all believe it. So that is the belief that we need to have, that despite the challenges that we have, it is a temporary challenge. Of course, it might be 10 years, 20 years, but it is also it's still temporary. when it comes to nation building. So let us be very, very optimistic about it. So that's what I can say.
Great statement. Before we'll round up this part of the discussion and get to the other one. But before then, I like my brother and friend, the provost for NIDO, to make a submission. Fidel, are you there? Comrade Fidel Wilson, can you open up? Yes, on mute.
Yeah.
And yes, sir. Go ahead, Fidel.
Good evening, Honorable Chairman and everyone in the House, and also for the Schengen Story Media.
Thank you very much
for today's event and the discussion ongoing so far. Actually, everyone has said well, concerning the issues about the problems we're having with our country, But what I have to say here is, so much has been said, and we'll continue to talk more. But I will appreciate where we'll begin to look at possible solutions that can be suggested to resolve this. I know it's not really easy because we have seen cases where one comes up with solutions. It's either a deaf ear is being given to it or nothing is even done at all. So for me, what I would prefer that we'll start looking into is how we can really come in. I repeat, it's not easy. It's not going to be easy, but this is an area where I would love us, at least those in the diaspora, to begin to look into, because so much is being said, and we know these things. We know these things, but even the little that we can actually act on, because it is so sad that there's problem before us, and we all know it, and all we do is just talk about it, and nothing is being done. And like someone earlier said, there's so much impunity, and the people that are supposed to be responsible are not even bothered or showing any kind of concern. So the other question is, what is actually wrong? Are we really, looking at what the issue really is, rather than just, yes, the problems we know they are obvious. So we don't need to go too far to find them. But what actually is wrong? Why the silence? Why we tend to be too what's the word now? We find ourselves in a situation of incapacity. There's nothing. It appears that nothing can be done, even when we know something can be done.
Exactly.
It's. I'm finding it hard. I can't even. The words are not coming because it beats my imagination. We know what is wrong, but yet we can't seem to do anything about it. So, my brothers, what is really wrong?
Yes,
that is the truth. We need to answer that questions ourselves. Thank you.
And right when you started speaking, Honorable Fidel, somebody wrote, "What has NIDO done to this whole situation?" Yes, Dr. Bashir. A question came in just before Fidel. I said, "What has NIDO done to this whole situation?" Has there been
thank you. Of course. Yeah, thank you. The issue of NIDO, we are not in government. I think in terms of government, but what we do is through the people who are diasporans who are returned home to participate in government. You can see the impact. You cannot compare the impact of person like Okonjo-Iweala people like Additional, people like Chekwa Ganga. Of course, you can see that those people, when they were there, they were from diaspora. When they participated, there was impact. And there are a lot of diaspora who are actually part of this government, maybe not in high position, but they are doing their bit. But when there is massive involvement, there is always a bigger impact. And I think that is what is lacking. You know, there are a few of them. The little ones they are doing is not showing because of the system in Nigeria. Unfortunately, the system in Nigeria is such that the recruitment, somebody has mentioned it, the recruitment process is faulty because it promotes mediocrity. It promotes this quota system that makes us ditch out, you know, mediocres, you know, as our best, you know, which is unfortunate. If we have, you know, a system that promotes merit, you know, merit, or you know, rather than representative, because everything in Nigeria they look at it as representing somebody, representing a region, and that's why you see somebody being accused of wrongdoing or somebody who is not doing well. When you accuse him or you attack him, he will run back to his village and say, "Oh, I've been attacked because I'm from so tribe." And he will move, before you know, he mobilizes his own people. They will start attacking you. Look at what happened. I know we are still going there. The deputy speaker. Yes. You can't believe it that the caucus of his party or his people from Plateau State, they actually issued a statement condemning us, condemning and supporting him as if what he did was right. So you can see such a thing. So it's peculiar to Nigerian system. You know, people don't see their position as service, that they are coming here to do the right thing. But they come there, they say, well, they put themselves as representing certain people. That's why you cannot ask them to go, because when you ask them to go, that means there will be change in the balance in the equation. You know, that's why people say, oh, Buhari should go. I tell people, I say, Buhari cannot go because even if he wants to go, his people will not allow him to go. You see? So this is the problem. So it is that representation that is in our brain that we always look at somebody who is representing me. How does he represent you when he's not doing the right thing? If he's not doing well, condemn him. Don't say because it's from your tribe, you are not condemned.
Exactly.
Be the first one. You know, so those are the problems that we're having in Nigeria, which is making the diasporas difficult for us to impact well, because our you know, the way of doing things in diaspora is different from the way they do things or the way they see things in Nigeria. For us to get there, we need massive participation professionally, you know, in various positions, in various levels. So, and then we can now make a proper impact. So NIDO is doing its bit by sensitizing this type of dialogue, this type of recommendations that we make, both orally and in written form, to make people know that, you know, this thing is doable. I remember when Buhari was here with us, you know, last in 2019, you know, he came here, and that's what I said. Look at this country; it's doable. If you put your hands, you know, on deck and everybody involved, and you carry everybody along, it is doable. Not sectionalizing, because that's where the problem came from. Instead of choosing the best, you say, oh, because they voted for me, or because this is this and that. If the principle is on merit, then you will be able to choose the best for your services to render services to the country. Look at the security issue. It is the reason why the situation is like this, because of lack of choosing on merit-based, you know, principles. So that's the way I see it, and I think we need to learn how to see things as service and look at people on that prison and not from the prison of you know, prism of my tribe or my region or my ethnic or my religion or my this and that. Has it delivered or not? That should be the question.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So still be on cue, sir. Thank you all so much for the statements and comments, submissions, and all you have said. Like I said, it will be aired on Nigerian TV station called Channel 5. And some other media houses in Nigeria. So we come now to the second part of this discussion. Last 2 weeks, a member of the House representing the Kwewa West in Nigeria a member of the House representing the Kwewa West in Nigeria, came to the House to present a petition from the TIV community in America. And the Deputy Speaker of the House, Honorable Idris Wuse, rejected that petition against government statement that they are not in Nigeria. So it will be recalled that on other times, the Nigerian government have emphasized on diaspora having a say, diaspora having impact in the Nigerian economy. So this happened and it was a big blow to everybody. I know everybody saw that, and Nigerians in diaspora were all really, really, really angered. So Dr. Bashir, I want you to, as the Papa of the Nigerians in Europe, what is this whole thing? Why did it come to that? And to make matters worse, the Englishman will say, adding insult to the injury, they came with a statement and were giving flimsy excuses for what the Deputy Speaker did. So Dr. Bashir, take it from there. You sent copies of the letter, the communique and the letter to the House, and it's been printed in the Schengen Story magazine, latest edition. So while you're talking, I might even show some clips here. So go ahead, Doctor.
All right, thank you. And you know, of course, I know my colleagues. You know, they've had enough, they've seen enough, they've you know, read enough about this issue. Of course, you know, people might be asking, you know, why now? You know, what happened? You know, why has NIDO taken up this issue? Three things I want to, you know, state here. Why it's very, very important for us to, you know, intervene. Apart from the fact that, you know, TIF, you know, organization that submitted the petition had the right to do what they did and, you know, to complain on behalf of their people. It is, you know, the most, you know, very shocking thing were the statement made by the Honorable Deputy Speaker, who was, you know, then standing in for the Speaker because the Speaker was out of town, was shocking because the argument he brought forward for rejecting the petition was shocking to us, just like the, you know, Vincent Godwin said. It was shocking because it negated all the policies of diaspora engagement for the past 20 years. First of all, he was asking questions that could actually be applied to any organization, especially any diaspora organization. First of all, he asked, is this organization, first of all, he said, are these people based in Nigeria? Of course, we are all not based in Nigeria, so it's obvious that. So it's, the question is that indirectly applies to every one of us. Two, he was asking, he said, is this organization registered in Nigeria with CAC? Obviously, none of our organization is registered with CAC in Nigeria. Three, he was asking, are they citizen, you know, dual citizen or no dual citizen, all those type of. So he mumbled these 3 points together, which are fundamental. So now we ask ourselves, if we're to remove the TIF organization from this, you know, this picture, and then we put any of the diaspora organization into that position, it applies to all of us. So then we know that this is a danger. We shouldn't allow a bad precedent to be set in this form. Then we have to take it up. And you saw the letter of protest we sent to the speaker. And, you know, of course, you saw what happened subsequently. Of course, we have not been able to get a direct apology from the speaker, but he apologized to the people of TIF. He apologized to Honorable, you know, Mark Gilbert, who presented this thing. He also said, you know, that Nigerians can, you know, as long as you are a Nigerian, or even if you are dual citizen or no dual, you have the right to write a petition to the National Assembly. So if we are to go by these three things he has done, we can say that they have corrected the mistake. They have corrected the fear that came upon us. He has able to diffuse it. But we are still engaging with him in NIDO Worldwide. We still want to seek an audience with him. Meeting. We need to meet him so that it will come out more, resounding, assurance to us that the National Assembly, especially the House of Representatives, know the implication and accept the mistake. Of course, since he has corrected it, of course, that means they accepted, but he needs to talk to us. So we are still going to seek such a, meeting with him. Of course, we just, while we're here, we just had, the NIDO Worldwide, leadership meeting where we also discussed this issue. So we are going to take, I'm not going to, tell this audience now what exactly we're going to do, but we are going to go further on, what we are to do in the steps taken so far, so that we will end up, having a proper understanding of the situation of things, and there will be this restoration of, trust, because that trust was shaken, by that action of the Deputy Speaker. And I think all his colleagues has realized the mistake. Of course, we asked the question, why was it then that during the process, none of the members, actually came in? They said it would have been against their rules for anybody to, especially when he has, dropped his armor on this thing, that the question was closed. So they couldn't have argued with him. But they believe that what he did, or the way he presented his argument, was actually faulty, because he shouldn't have raised those fundamental constitutional issues. He knew that it was right, but that was why people believe that probably he was overtaken by the virtue of where he came from. That's why we're talking about this tribal issue. We talk about his sentiments. Probably he didn't think it through when he was presenting his case. He would have said things in a different way. Probably if you ask him now, probably he would have restated what he wanted to say. But by putting all diaspora together, they are not here, they are in their comfort zones, they are in America, why should they have a say here? They don't have local study, this and that. It was an argument out of bias. It was an argument out of malice, which he was just doing everything possible to rattle the Honorable Giba, who was presenting. And that one also, the Honorable Giba, which we also knew later, that he was actually not prepared, because he never knew that he would be challenged. He would have been more prepared, because some of the things he was quoting, he quoted them out of panic, but he would have been more prepared for that. But because the rule says that you don't need to argue. Once you say these things, this is the petition from so people, I received it, it is to be laid down, without any argument. But in this case, argument came up. So he had to be picking some of the few arguments that he remembered. And, the whole thing, went the way it went. But I want to say that, we are happy that the thing has been reversed. He has been allowed to submit his petition to that day that precedents have been cancelled. So nobody will reference it as a thing to use in future against any of us. Then the second one is that the speaker has said that any Nigeria, and wherever you are, doesn't matter where you are, you can, submit any petition. So that's also a good thing. Then the third one is that he also mentioned that, dual citizenship is allowed by the Constitution. So although he doesn't need to tell us that, but we know it is written in the Constitution, but he reassured us that, that is what is at play. So this is the situation of things. And I think it's also a lesson for us that we should be vigilant. We should always follow what is going on. We should always thank for the media and this thing, that we also we all gather ourselves. NIDO Worldwide, NIDO is working as a team. And I want to also tell you now that thanks to this event, they say sometimes bad things happen for good things to happen. A good thing that has come from this one is that a lot of organizations now has known that NIDO is the umbrella organization. You walk through NIDO. NIDO is the organization that federal government has helped to, has pushed us to establish for ourselves as the umbrella organization and the spokesman organization for the diasporans issues. So let us work together, strengthen NIDO. You know, I always you know, advise people, please join NIDO. Join NIDO in all the chapters you are. Let us make NIDO strong, because the stronger we are, the more the impact we want to make, just like we did here. It is because
Chairman, a question to what you're saying. Somebody wrote a question now.
Yes.
He said, if the deputy speaker had raised that, are they registered? He said, is NIDO registered? What is asking now? So, and that means we need to go and get registered.
You know, that's why I started from there, that remove the thief organization and put any of the diaspora organization there. You discover that it is applicable to any one of us. Exactly. So it is a dangerous thing for him to have gone that route of argument. But the one thing I want to say, that the NIDO worldwide is, you know, about registering, because we need to register under, you know, a certain unified organization. And NIDO worldwide is trying to do that. Of course, we've tried it before in 2016. We did it halfway. Of course, the subsequent government that came in, you know, they couldn't achieve, you know, push forward for it. So now we want to restart again, try again through another method, because I was made to understand that it didn't work out the path that we took. So now we want to take another path. So let's see if it works out. So it would have been good for us to register at least something like, you know, something that we symbolize, you know, NIDO in Nigeria. I know there's NIDCOM, but NIDCOM is government agency. So even though within the NIDCOM Act, NIDO is stated there, but we don't want to rely only on government gazette. We want to establish as also as an entity in one form or the other. So this is another task for us. And now it has become even more important, given the statement made by, so who knows, somebody might be thinking even more, I'm sorry to use the word, more nasty thing in future.
Yeah, so Dr. Bashir, we are behind you. Please do everything in your power to do the registration, so that let our voice be really loud right there in Nigeria. So let that also be one of your achievements, Doctor. It will go a long way. So we will support you, and we will make sure it's done. Because when the enemy, when an opposition says something, you see, that's what a lot of people don't know. He's giving you insights to something that should be done. So
yes, we're doing that with all my code, like I mentioned, the NIDO worldwide, you know, all Asia, Africa, Oceanic, Americas, you know, we are all in this thing together. So we will try as much as we can, given the little, you know, maneuver that we can make there, because we know the issue of diaspora is a very sensitive thing in Nigeria. Yes. So, but we will try as much as we can.
Thank you very much. You have thrown too much light on that issue. I don't know, statements are going all around, but I won't want to take much of your time. This is Schengen Story Virtual Town Hall meeting, where we discuss issues bordering on us, Nigerians in Europe. Nigerians in Europe is the key. We are a dynamic force. We are a people that are not to be played with. Nigerians in Europe are carrying the economy of Nigeria. Nigerians in Europe are the ones with the intellectuals and the creativity, the innovations and everything. So, and no better time like this period of Nigerians in Europe to stand up and join in the progress of our country. Nigeria will survive, like the music says, and truly Nigerians will survive. So with that, I don't know. I won't want to take much time. You want to say something, Matthew?
Yes, please.
Honorable Matthew. Okay, go ahead. I give you, please, I give you two minutes so
Okay.
that we can round up.
Go
ahead.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I think it is necessary that we draw attention of who are diasporans. The honorable, let me still call the word the honorable, who refused the application with a lot of arrogancy, should know that the first diasporans are the ambassadors who they sent out, the diplomats who they sent out, the student scholarship, federal scholarship, who they sent out, and even some people in political offices who sent out their children out there to train. And when you start rejecting them, and one funny, not just funny, one important thing is that the diasporans has their blood, has their culture, has their roots in a given place. Even if they live outside there, even if they got to the extent of even having dual citizenship, as a good number of them has, but most of them has their student stay or permit of stay for some time for the service they were doing. So if somebody will have that raw prejudice over such name, diaspora, and is serving in such elevated office, I think that should be called for attention. I have always said here, leadership is responsibility and accountability. If such a person who did such this type of political atrocity, what is being done against him? Or should he be thrown in the carpet in that way? I think this question should go as well to the president. I would like to have a word there. So I want to say too that diasporans are very important too for a given country. All the world as you know them today, from UK here to America to even Canada to other places, they used to appoint people who has roots to their country as ambassadors of their country. It doesn't mean that by doing such, he will go there to defend his people. No, he will respect the policy of the country who appointed him, but because he has a cultural root, it makes the dialogue and relationship a little more easy. You know how those people reasons, the culturally, academically, religiously, how they, ethically, how they reason, and then you see how you can be able to vibe the relationship between the countries. One, having such prejudice and then holding such offices is one of those things that are killing the country, because a lot of people who claim to be serving us in leadership are ignorant of the facts.
Yes.
They are blinded by either religion, ethnic, and all those things. This have been killing this country, and this has not started today. I just said it before. Something needs to be done. Again, I want to say that the diasporans does not mean somebody who lives in Europe and then comes to contest election. Good number of people who are serving in our houses of assemblies and senators are studied overseas. While they were there, they have taken their blood of their own share of a diasporan attitude and should be able to be good ambassadors of the nation. When may we grow? Our problem is something beyond what we are saying, please. And I think we need, and then it's not something that is easy for us to do, but I have always told you, this starts with the electoral process that not permit a poor person to become even a common local government chairman. People who come from everywhere, wherever they have their money, they try to see where to catch themselves into a political link, and then they buy people over. Because people has kept people down, not allowing them to grow economically. So a little input that comes from anybody, it buys the people over. Don't think that people are ignorant. It's unfortunate that they have not given us alternative to either look off from the politics, because in Europe, because they create job, a lot of people are not interested in politics. Let that one, even in my council today, they are looking for people to fill up some of the offices in the election that is coming. Okay, it's not our own place where we drag even to the least office, you see people fighting for it. Here, they beg people to come and contest for offices. That's why you won't see a lot of migrants being councillors here. It's because many people are not interested. Let it be very clear. But not that you go there and do what you want, because it is the office that has a responsibility and accountability. You get in there, you must be guided by the institution.
Absolutely.
We are yet to come. We are yet to start.
Thank you very much. Absolutely. Thank you. Yes, yeah, Dr. Bashir, you want
to? Yeah, thank you. Just briefly, where you were mentioning what becomes of the deputy speaker, because him occupying that type of exalted position and making such. You remember from the clip of the video you saw the action of the speaker after he came back. You remember he told us just to defend the deputy speaker that he was instrumental to diaspora policies, the diaspora committee, the Committee on Diaspora Affairs, a lot of things that he has done before that it was misunderstanding, this and that. Those are the things they are saying, they are telling us now that we should not judge him based on that singular action. That's one of the reasons why we want to, see him, we want to meet him, so that we will, get assurance, more than what we. Of course, if it had been another country, of course, we don't even need to tell the deputy speaker to resign, because he would have done that voluntarily, because he would have known that his action has actually scandalized a whole National Assembly. He would have resigned. But in Nigeria, it's hard to see such, benevolent action from politicians. So he wouldn't do that. Given example I've given you that even his people, his caucus in the House were supporting him. They wrote a press release condemning what we did, why we're scandalizing the issue. It is this, that, and that. So just to tell you that he still has a very strong support, despite his that action. So let's not. We are going to meet the speaker. So let me not preempt what our actions or subsequent action will be. On the issue of ambassadors, you mentioned it is not only you. I remember some years back when I was still the president of Nigerian community here in Russia, I was giving a farewell, speech to the ambassador who was going there. I suggested that, there should be, the diasporas could actually be part of this recruitment. They could be appointing us as ambassadors, our countries, because we know the culture of both sides. Exactly. And it will even be cheaper for Nigeria to maintain us than bringing somebody who has never been. So all those things, at the end of my speech, he said, guy, he said, if you want to be an ambassador, go and join the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So that was the end of that, that talk. So just to tell you that you are not the only one thinking like that. I think a lot of us have been thinking that way, especially those countries that have cultural contrasts with us. Non-English speaking. Some of us, they come, they don't speak the Russian, they don't speak the language, they don't speak French, they don't speak Russian, they don't speak German. They will put them there. How will they be able to, interact freely with people beyond the bureaucrat that they will talk to? No, you need to go beyond bureaucrat. You need to go to the street, talk to people, and so that means you need to know the language. So you are not alone there, and I think we continue to push forward. I mentioned it, when we're talking with the Foreign Affairs Minister. The other day, I mentioned it too, that they should look at that. It's also cheaper for the government, especially now that they cannot even finance some of the missions, easily. Why don't they recruit some of people, diasporans who are professionals, who are well established in the countries they are, as staffs, and they're not staff at local, not small staff. I mean, at a higher level of diplomacy. So that's also an issue. Of course, you mentioned about the issue of dual people in Nigeria who are also talking now. Some of them are dual citizens. You can't believe it. They hold passports of other countries. Yet they verify, yet they don't like the diasporans. But they too are diaspora in terms of, if you have to, they are dual citizens, they stay in another country, they study in another country, they are back in Nigeria now. But they are also, part of this issue. So we also, talk to their conscience also sometimes. Just the way we spoke to the conscience of the speaker to remind him that he's also part of us. He was once in US, for many years before he relocated back to Nigeria. So he says, I'm sure either he holds green card or American passport. So, and many of them are like that. So we have people who are doing that. This thing. Of course, you talk about money politics, that politics is too expensive. And that's why people go there to look back to, recoup their money. Yes, it's too expensive with local council or even councillor, or, it's too expensive to hold. Whereas some of them, they don't have very good things to offer. but they just go there to make money. They go there to be. That's why I was very fascinated by what one of the governors from the Southeast, I don't know, either Abia or one of those governors who was addressing the youth. He said, instead of youths looking for, going for politics, joining politics and this, why you should establish yourself first, as businesses, so that when you go into politics, you will be independent. You will not have godfathers who will be pushing here and there. He said, and I think it's a good, although I know the economy does not allow that to be done by the youth, but it's a good thing. It's a good, mental thinking that people should not go into politics when you know that you are still vulnerable, to godfathers who will say, oh, I will give you billions. But when you get there, those federal allocation, we share into 3 or share into 2. This go to my cabs and all those things. So it's because you are vulnerable, you need the money, you need them to support you. So if you are able to be successful in what you do, then that will push you forward for future. But for that to happen, of course, we need to work on this money politics to allow people to vote out of their conscience and not because of what we call in Nigeria the stomach infrastructure. It's unfortunate that poverty has pushed people to that level of taking 5,000 naira or even 1,000 naira to vote out of their conscience, and later on the people they bring into politics to power start behaving funny and not serving the people. So I think I'm in line with you, and I agree that yes, there are a lot of things that have to be done in that aspect. Thank you so much for that thinking.
You are wonderful, Doctor. Doctor, we appreciate you.
Thank you.
We really do appreciate you. You have a very smooth way of giving us those statements that uplift us. We are concerned about our country. It's our country, and our families are there, our people are there. So when we have your presence like this, explaining things, it eases the tension. Thank you so much for coming, Doctor. So with that, I want to say thank you all also for coming by. This is our little way of keeping ourselves connected, keeping ourselves abreast with situations, following up. And like I said, we're not speaking to the empty, to the void. It's going to be aired. People will hear this, and a lot of solutions will come out from what you're saying. So your time here has not been wasted. I appreciate you all. We want to thank our doctor, Dr. Bashir Obashikola, the NIDO chairman for Europe, and everyone here, Fidel Wilson, the PRO for NIDO. We have Helen Root, Apostle Helen Root, one-time PRO, and every other person. The Schengen team are grateful. So Schengen French, can you please take it from there? Truman.
Yeah, thank you very much for today. It was a wonderful deliberation.
Wonderful.
All we are doing is for the good of the nation, and we are all praying that we should stop the one Nigeria and start saying we are Nigerians. Because in a place where we try to foster one means there's inequality. People cry for justice, but others are crying for equal rights and justice. Let the love spread, and let our nation understand that we at diaspora, we diasporans, we have families in Nigeria. We are Nigerians, and we can never run away from Nigeria. We love Nigeria, and all we are asking is that Nigeria should love us as much as we love her. That goes a long way. So I thank you all for being here today. Schengen Story Magazine still remains there to fly the flag of Nigeria high here in diaspora and the world at large. Thank you. We hope to see you again. The Easter is around the corner. We thank you for the whole. And I expect Dr. Bashira, before you go, I want you to give us a little Easter message to all Nigerians in diaspora and at home, please.
Yeah, thank you so much, and thank you for what you are doing at Schengen Magazine. It's a pleasure being here, always talking and exchanging ideas about that. It also uplifts our hearts and feelings about the future. Well, in line with the Easter, I want to wish every Nigerian happy Easter in advance. Of the teaching of Easter is revival. Is we need to revive our hope. We need to revive our trust in the ability of the country to move forward. That we pray for peace, we pray for unity, we pray that we will continue to see each other as brothers and sisters, because without that, we cannot move forward. Because we cannot be in a situation whereby it's just like a wife and a husband, where the husband will always tell the wife, oh, I'm about to drop you. Of course, in such a relationship, the wife will not contribute meaningfully to the development of the man. So it's the same thing that we always threaten the country of leaving the country in terms of separation. It's also making the country vulnerable. So I think the spirit of unity should also imbibe, should always come to us, and God will help us. And so I wish everybody a happy Easter and happy restoration of our hope in Nigeria. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. This is so wonderful. It's an Easter message to every Nigerian out there, home and abroad. We thank you for being here with us. We thank you for listening to us. As we go, we are not leaving, but we are changing. Today, we'll come back next time and we'll continue from where we stop. Thank you so much, everybody. And I bless you all in the name of God. And I pray that the unity in the nation will continue to be one, strong and better. And don't forget, Schengen Story Magazine, we're always there to fly the flag of Nigerians doing greater things outside for the sake of our nation. Thank you so much. See you next time. I love you so much. Thanks.
Thank you.
Good night, all.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. God bless all of
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah, thank you.
Helen.
All the
Helen,
best.
thank you for coming.
Thank you, Apostle Helen. I see you. Happy Easter in advance, my sister.
Thank
Dr. Bashir, good evening, sir.
Yeah.